Back in with him later in the hour. But first, another day of silence from the NAACP that we've contacted now over a dozen times. Now, we're asking for them to denounce the comments made by their North Carolina president, the Reverend William Barber, about Senator Tim Scott when he called him a ventriloquist dummy. We've also invited both Lorraine Miller, the interim president, Rosalind Brock, the organization's chair of the board. We've invited them all on the show. We've asked them for statements, and so far, we've received nothing. In addition, where are America's civil rights leaders? Because we've also called the Reverend Al Sharpton, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. They, too, have denied a request. Joining me now with reaction are radio talk show host Richard Fowler and in studio, rare appearance, Nevada congressional candidate, our friend Niger Innis. Welcome aboard. Good to see you, buddy. Richard, let me start with you, if I can. I want to hear you say that the NAACP needs to demand an apology from the Reverend for making this vicious, vile, hateful attack against Senator Tim Scott. I don't like their silence. I think it's bigoted. I think black conservatives in America are routinely called these names, and I say the time to stop is now. So will you ask the NAACP to do the right thing?
No, Sean, listen, the NAACP can do whatever they want to do. I mean, they're a free organization. I'm not going to ask them to do it because I think...
You're not going to ask them because you don't have the moral courage to ask them to do it.
No, but it's not about moral courage or conviction here. I think what Reverend Barber is saying is that it's not just because you're an African American that the NAACP is going to support you. They support issues that affect black folks in America.
He called him a ventriloquist
and Tim Scott
dummy.
Just voted. Tim Scott's voting record is adamantly against the black and African American community.
Wait a minute. Is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, is it liberal colored people, democratic colored people, progressive colored people,
and colored people's
but not
issues.
Conservatives? So it's not
it's conservatives
need not apply.
Issues.
So we have separate.
No,
we have
it's about
conservatives need not apply.
It is about issues that affect African American communities, and when Tim Scott will sit up there and vote against the Voting Rights Act, vote against issues that help black boys,
so you have to vote a certain way, or else the NAACP is not for the advancement of you because you're a conservative black American. Is that what it is?
No, it's for the advancement of all black African American colored people.
Not conservatives.
That affect them.
Niger, you get my point.
Oh, I certainly get your point. And the NAACP, which has come out in past, there was this case in Norfolk, Virginia, where an NAACP leader came out and critiqued Trayvon Martin situation, and he was severely critiqued. A mutual friend of ours, Shannon Reeves of the Oakland NAACP, was also a Republican, an out front Republican. He was critiqued. Look, I believe in freedom of speech. We were just talking off air.
I agree.
We were just talking off air about three of our heroes, civil rights heroes, Sherner, Cheney, and Goodman, that were killed. Core members involved in a core project registering blacks to vote. They didn't register blacks to vote to all vote Democrat. They registered blacks to vote because they wanted to exercise to vote, and registered blacks to vote to get involved in the political process and to run and be Republican or Democrat.
I think this is a moment of truth for the NAACP. Because they didn't support Clarence Thomas. We can go back. All these names that Colin Powell, Condi Rice, prominent black conservatives have been called.
Vile, vicious things.
It is open season. And you and your dad have been called over the years. So I think this is a moment of truth. Either it's the NAACP or DCP.
Or, you know, we have to avoid becoming it's a great organization. And they should avoid becoming the NAA certain people. Instead of colored people, certain colored people. That would be a big mistake. Let me say this, Sean. I am a member of the NAACP in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I became a lifetime member when I lived in Atlanta.
And I'm a member as well. And let me tell you, we have to separate how the national arm of the NAACP operates from local chapters like the Las Vegas NAACP, which has a comprehensive plan. They understand the problems in the black community are so profound that you need liberal solutions, conservative solutions.
If they don't fix this and stop this open season attack on conservatives, I can't be a part of this.
It's only a matter of time until the wheel turns and it goes towards black liberals. It's wrong either way.
Well, listen, I hear what you guys are saying, and I'm glad, Niger, that you brought up voter registration, and that's something the NAACP had a huge focus on, and the fact that Republican governors all across this country are limiting African Americans' access to the voting polls should get all of us upset.
Hey, Richard,
people's democracies are being
we're not
limited.
here to talk about voting registration or anything.
But if we're talking about NAACP, then we are.
I want to know where the moral authority is within the NAACP leadership that they are allowing black conservatives to be attacked routinely then they are no longer for the advancement of black Americans.
But Sean, where is that same outrage when African Americans are not getting the right to vote? Where is this? Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage, Niger, when they're limiting African Americans' access to the voting polls?
Richard, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. I think you and I, we don't agree on a lot of things, but we would agree on this, which is that black Americans, Latino Americans, all Americans should not only have the freedom to exercise their First Amendment rights, but exercise it in whatever political or ideological way that they want to. Tim Scott is the last Republican senator representing South Carolina since Reconstruction and the last Republican black senator that represented South Carolina. They're both good black Republicans, and let me tell you, those that would condemn them for the way they think and the ideological direction that they choose should be ashamed of themselves. They're just as bad as Bull Connor. Richard, you know they're as bad as Bull Connor.
I have never condemned Senator Scott at all whatsoever. But I wish that folks like you, Niger, would come out and stand up against Governor McCrory, who is limiting the right of African Americans to vote.
Richard, you keep changing the topic. Will you condemn what this preacher, this NAACP leader in North Carolina said? Will you condemn it?
He's given a great organization a bad name. The NAACP is a great organization. He's giving it a bad name.
Will you condemn it?
I'll make a deal with you. As soon as we can get black conservatives to condemn the voter restrictions that are happening all across the country,
there's no
then
deal
we can have a
making here. Do you condemn him
it's
calling?
It's immoral, Sean, that African Americans don't have the right to vote in certain parts of the country.
Listen, if you're talking about voter ID, I think if you want to vote, you need to have an ID. If you want to get into the Democratic National Convention, guess what? You need a photo ID. So pull the same thing on the Democratic
Party. But it's beyond that. Wait a second, Sean. But what's happening in the state, North Carolina, in 2012, where they had the highest voter turnout in history, they limited early voting access. They closed polls in African American communities.
There's no deal making. You either stand up here for what's right. Is it wrong?
I am standing up for what's right.
What
That's
Mr. Barber said or not? It's a simple yes or no question.
At the end of the day, what the NAACP cares about are issues that affect African American folks.
What they said about
and what
him
he's
wrong.
saying is that Tim Scott votes against African American interests all the time.
You want to talk about his voting record? I'm saying, regardless, what he said about Senator Tim Scott wrong? As a leader in the NAACP, is it morally wrong?
I'm not a leader in the NAACP, but I would tell you when Tim Scott votes against his record.
Well, one of the reasons
you're running for office, by the way.
I'm running for office, and I got a nice present for you.
Awesome. A new workout. Let me see that. I get to wear this?
You get to wear it, man.
You get extra large because I'm kind of...
I got large for you, all right? You're getting svelte. You lost a little weight.
I lost a little weight. You're right. All right, now here's the deal. I totally support your candidacy. I want you to win. You'd be a great congressman, but I don't want to support you if it's going to hurt you.
No, you're loved, man. You're loved in my district.
All right, thanks for being with us. Good luck. We'll be following your race closely. Coming up tonight,